Hey, y'all. Happy Friday. Let's get straight into it today. We're going to be doing some teaching this Friday, honey. So happy Friday, friend. What did you conquer this week inside your business? And today we're going to get into a little bit of a teaching mode because I'm going to teach my signature method, the ICE method. There's somebody out there that's probably really thinking, man, how do people come up with ideas for content that's not robotic, that's not salesy, that builds trust? Like, even if it doesn't go viral, like you can tell, like it's just bursting with personality. So I want to talk about my signature method that I use, the ICE method. It's the exact same method that I even use on my personal Facebook page. I've used it for years, and I've literally taught hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women on how to use this method. So we'll get into that today on the show. So happy, happy, happy Friday, y'all. What did you conquer this week inside your business? Drop it down below and let me know. I'm just gonna pin my live right quick. Y'all need to share it too. What did you conquer this week inside your business? What did you do this week? What did you conquer this week inside your business? Okay, cool. What did you conquer this week? And we'll get into the ICE method here. I'm excited to teach this because I feel like this could be really helpful. This was really helpful to me. Creating content I'm not like a huge content expert or anything, but I know the structure of creating content that's going to build trust with people, and it's going to get people to look at your social media and be like, oh, I feel like I know that person. I feel like that person is my friend. I want to buy from that person. I want to do business with that person. I want to go to that person's events. This method is the exact same method that I use. Okay. So I'm going to break it down for you and tell you about the ICE method, especially if you're a service-based girl. If you're a service-based girl where you're a coach, you're a life coach, you're a business coach, you're a marketing coach, you're in the financial services, you do credit repair, you do taxes, you're in the travel space, this is a great, great, great method. Okay. So every Sunday when you're creating your content, and you can do this content in any form, whether you want to do videos, whether you want to do posts, pictures, or whatever. I want you to every Sunday, you're going to break your content into three categories, okay, using this ICE method. And it's literally I, C, and E, okay? So when you sit down on Sundays and you're like, okay, let me plan out my content for the week. Let me think about what I'm going to talk about. I want you to break it into these three categories, okay? So the first one is the I in ICE, okay? And that's inspirational content. Now, here's the thing, okay? This content is not content that needs to be you pulling a quote from Google, you know what I'm saying, from Martin Luther King. This is like you talking about why you decided to become a business owner. When did you start your business? What is the mission of your business? What do you hope to aspire with your business? What are some of the challenges that you overcome with your business? What was the hardest part for you about continuing with the business? What type of customers do you enjoy working with? What are some of your past stories from working with customers? Those are all of the questions underneath that I when it comes to the ICE method for creating content that builds explosive trust. Explosive trust. Okay. So that I stands for inspire, but that's really you talking about your journey as a business owner. Okay. And we'll do this again once I kind of reset. But I want to make sure that I kind of go through, especially if somebody's listening to this and taking notes, for you to really think, okay, you'll break your content down with the ICE method. The I is for in the morning, the C is for the afternoon, and the E is for the evening. This is an easy way to post 3 times a day, and it's a no-brainer. Okay. So in the morning, you would pull a post or answer a question from the I category, which is why did I decide to start my business? So your morning post is, I don't know if I ever told y'all, but I started my business in one of the happiest times of my life. Or y'all, I think it's time for me to share that I started my business in one of the darkest times, and this is the reason why I made my life so much better. Child, whatever. I started my business back in 2012. During that time, I was still like whatever it is. But that content underneath that that's the chance where you like that's when you get a chance to like connect with your audience and they can see your story. Because a lot of us, we have to realize that people Like the people on the internet, they're just other people. They're not like some robots and stuff like they're other humans. They're other humans that can relate to human like stories, human like challenges, human like wins, human like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're selling to other people, even if it's via the internet. Okay. You're not like selling to robots. So when you take that I underneath the ICE method, that's when you begin telling your story. What do you think about entrepreneurship? Do you think everybody's built for it? Like, what do you think about the world of business? It's gonna be so important. And then you move on. So you do your I every morning. Every morning you do your I post. It could be a reel. You can find a picture in your camera roll and put text to that. You can make it a live, right? Like this live is like a version of my I post. Right? So then in the afternoon, you do your C, which is the C part of the ICE method. And your C is where you turn your content into a classroom. So this is when you start educating people. I'm about to meet with a fitness trainer today. Her C content will look like 5 workouts you can do for a flat belly this summer. Okay, I'm talking to have another client who is a tutor, right? 2 things that you need to make sure you teach your kids this summer before they go back to school. You turn your content into a classroom. So every morning you do your I post. That's the ICE part of the I part of ICE. And then the afternoon you do your C part of the ICE method, which is turning your content into a classroom. Where you start giving people some game, giving people some gems, giving people some education. And you can see just from those 2 different posts, in the morning we have something really personal, but in the afternoon we lean into some education. Okay. And then the third part of the ICE method, which is in the evenings, you're going to use the E part of the ICE method, which is entertaining your audience with your personal life. Like me, I like rap snacks. I can make that a post. My audience knows I also love hosting, right? So you can take the E part of the ICE method and you can do this every single day. Like this is watch, rinse, and repeat content mapping. Okay. With the E, every evening you entertain your audience with a personal story from your life. This doesn't have to have anything to do with your business. So if you and your kids like taking walks in the evening, there you go. If you barbecue some ribs for dinner, there you go. If you got a new wig, there you go. If you like fashion, there you go. There's no right or wrong way to do this here. And then what the ICE method eventually does is in the morning, you have your questions from your inspiration bucket. In the C, you have your content from your classroom bucket. And then in the evening, you have your entertaining content with your personal stories. Day after day after day after day after day after day, you'll have this really cool mixture of content that tells your story, tells your mission, tells who your customers are, educates people on what you do, what you know, how you know it, how often you implemented it. And you got a whole bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with business. It is the perfect mixture of content that eliminates this need for, I want to post about my business, but I don't want to be salesy. It is the perfect mixture because we don't want to lean too far into one or the other, right? We don't want to lean too far into the business where it's like, dang, like, do they know me? Like, you know what I'm saying? And you don't want to lean too much into non-business. Jaquisha says, I love to dance and cook. So entertainment. Yes. It's the same for me. Like I love, y'all know if you follow me, especially on Facebook, I love hosting. I love a little charcuterie board. Girl, I love a little salami, cheese, and cracker, grape and cheese. I love a good cocktail. I love being outside in Dallas. I love some makeup. So you can use that ICE method, you know what I'm saying, to do all of that, but you will still promote your business every single day. So again, the ICE method is for you to be able to consistently schedule content every Sunday. I want you to sit and break your content into 3 categories. The I, This is where I tell why I started my business, who I serve, what I do for them, customers we've had, testimonials we've had, what I think about struggling, what I think about motivation, my advice to other people, what I've done in this industry, accomplishments I've had. You do that every morning, y'all. This is a no-brainer way. No-brainer way. No-brainer way to do content. You would do that every single morning. Those are all of the questions under your eye. And then in the afternoon, you move on to the C bucket, which is turning your content into a classroom every afternoon. Y'all, I don't know how in 2025 we don't realize that giving out the best education is the fastest way to get customers and not the slowest way. Right? I heard Gary Vee give an example of this, and it's this idea of, let's say if I follow two different CPAs, right? And one of them is it's not to say that you can't get business, but if you aren't getting clients, it's the fastest way to get people. So one CPA, they are just saying book here, book now. They're giving all these generic tips, but the other CPA is like, hey, if you have a business and you need this, I just found this grant. Or if you apply for a PPP loan and the feds came after you, this is what you can do. Or if you have a bookkeep, like if they're giving me the game, I'm like, oh bro, like if it's this good right here, you know what I'm saying? So that's how you use that C part of the ICE method, where you share what you know. Share what you know. Share what you know. And I have always found in my experience that the people who give the best information are not only the people that we build trust with the most, but those are the people that we're willing to pay for it. Because it's one thing to be like super popular, but it's another thing to actually like have clients and stuff behind the scenes. You know what I mean? It's easy to, they kind of look the same. But that C part in the ICE method is going to make sure that you understand that if you are a service provider, especially turning your content into a classroom every afternoon is an amazing way for people to understand how much you can help them. How much you can help them. And then every evening you do the E part of the ICE method. Okay? You do the E part of the ICE method, which is entertaining people with your personal life. I found a random picture in my phone of when I was in Memphis. I went to a corner store and they had a whole wall of wrap snacks. I was like, oh child. I was like, I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna post it and say, baby, I ain't never had a bag I didn't like, with some laughing emojis. Easy. Easy, okay? So I want to go through, especially if somebody's taking notes. I want to make sure that you understand this ICE method. And then I want to make sure that you have questions, because this is going to it's going to completely eliminate your need to not know what to post every week. And it's going to completely eliminate you saying, well, I don't want to look salesy, but I also don't want to appear like nobody needs to take me seriously. Because sometimes people they either like too business like, you know what I'm saying? Got no flavor. I mean, just weird, or they just lean more into, oh, okay, you look like a little homegirl, look like you got a little hobby, it's your little business. You don't even look like you popping. This ICE method eliminates that. It eliminates that. And it's the exact same thing that I do on my Facebook page every day to make sure that I have explosive trust building. I schedule it all out, let it do its thing. Okay. So again, the I part of the ICE method, this is every morning or every weekday morning. You do every morning, child. I want you to write down these questions. Why did I become a business owner? When did I start my business? What type of people do I serve? What type of products or services do I offer? What do I think about entrepreneurship? What do I think about struggling? What's been the hardest time for me? What's been my biggest win? What's been my biggest challenge? Would I ever quit? Do I have a plan? Like, you just answer questions about what you think about the game and your business. And it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. And you ain't got to come have no therapy session with us. Imagine Monday through Friday, you take that I part of the ICE method and you start sharing it for the next 6 weeks. It is going to eliminate confusion about what you do. Okay. So those are some easy questions that you can write down. Okay. So every time you do your content every morning, just literally go back and answer those questions and do that for the next 6 weeks and watch everything change. Okay. And so in the afternoon, you do the C part of the ICE method, which is turning your content into a classroom friend. Jaquisha said, yep, my content is flavorless. I'm sorry, girl. I feel you though. Well, you have to make sure that you really do the E part of the ICE method then if you feel like it's a little flavorless. So every afternoon you do your C, which is turning your content into a classroom. And this is going to vary for each entrepreneur, but let me give you the formula on how to figure out what type of educational content to do, okay? So you think about your customer, okay? So your perfect customer, your best customers you've had, or the best customers that you want. Hey, Alexandria. She says, hey, Deb. What's up, friend? What's up, boo? Looking cute. I love that red lipstick in that picture, girl. Go and send it some. So if you don't know what type of educational content, I want you to think about your perfect customer, and I want you to write down 12 questions that your customer has about your product or service. Okay, 12 questions that your customer has about your product or service. Now, make sure none of them are about price. Okay. These are things like if I sold this lip balm, right? Shout out to the beauty supply store. If I sold this lip balm, 12 or 14 questions I would have would be how shiny does it get? Does it work in the cold time if my lips are extra chapped? Um, how often do I need to reply it? How long does one tube last me? What if I have sensitive skin? What if I have oily skin? Can I put this under lipstick? Can I put this on with a lip liner? Like once I have this product in my hand, what are 14 questions I have about the usage of this product? So then my content would be, hey girl, you know it's getting warm outside. If your skin is oily, don't worry, I got something for you. Right? Here are 3 reasons why you need it. You start answering those questions with that educational content. And inside the ICE method, you would do that classroom style of content every afternoon. This is like, you know what I'm saying? Or even if I sold, let me think of even if I did taxes. Oh my gosh, shout out to the tax girls, baby, because y'all don't be playing doing tax season, child. Woo, but yeah, I mean, god dang. I think everybody but me and my mama do taxes, literally. Cause y'all don't be playing around, baby. Baby. Yeah, I don't be playing around, girl. She said this is really good. Thank you. So let's say, for example, if I did taxes. Okay. Shout out to the tax girl, baby, because y'all hustlers like never before. So turning your content into a classroom would be okay. Let me think about the type of people I do taxes for. What are 14 questions that they have about this service? So, of course, those will be things like, not depending on your clientele. It may be this is why you see them talk about, well, how fast will I get my refund? What can I write off? What can I write off? What if I want to buy a home soon? What if we had student loan? What if I feel like I lost my W-2? What if I did ride share throughout the month? What if I'm an entrepreneur and I didn't make any money? I only lost money. Like you would just turn your content into a classroom and go up and down that list of those questions every single day. Every single day. Every day. Alexandria said, yep, educating adds value and builds know, like, and trust. And you know, the cool thing about how this is evolving is with us having platforms and stuff like TikTok and the way that like reels and stuff have evolved, we can educate and still be ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to like fit into like a box, which is why the E part of the ICE method is entertaining your audience with your personal life. And I like to look at this as kind of like it's given a little reality show. Like, but the E part of the ICE method is in the evening time, right? You're just sharing parts of who you are outside of the business. So you like cooking, girl? What you got in your camera roll that you cook that look real good that you can go repost? Okay, it make you a little something. Or if you like wine and maybe you're going to buy some wine this evening, go record it when you go. Like this is why it's so important to understand that if you're going to use social media to promote your business, the worst thing that you can do is start to try to like curate content. Like you try to do stuff out of your norm and out, like when I see people like, oh, I'm gonna go rent me an Airbnb to do some content. I'm just like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like if you just document your real life and who you are already, you're going to have a much happier relationship with your content and you'll be able to do it more consistently, right? So the stuff that in the easiest way to determine what you should do or like share when it comes to your personal life with your content is for you to think about three things that you've done consistently over the past 2 years. I know, like me, over the past 2 years, whether y'all seen it or not, I host because I love cooking and hosting. I love a little cocktail and being outside in Dallas, right? And I love a little 1-2 with makeup or being girly or a little aesthetic or a little solo date. Like that's just what my life already is. And so with the E part of the ice method in the evening time, you would just share small bits from those three things that you consistently do already. And so every Sunday when you sit down, you will pull out your ice method and you will say, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Here are 5 things underneath the I. C. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Here are 5 things underneath that C from those 12 to 14 questions. And in the evening, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, in the evening time, what are 5 stories that I can pull from my personal life? And that don't mean you telling us your business. That just mean to tell us that you went to Arby's and you the person keeping Arby's open. Like that's entertaining. Consider yourself a great creator. You know? So again, I hope that this helps somebody when you're sitting down planning out your content on a Sunday. You can listen back to this training. This is just one of the frameworks that we have inside Conquer and even inside the Conquer Club where we talk about creating content in a way that's not overwhelming. And I feel like a lot of people sometimes can't create content because they're trying to fake it, like they're trying to curate some type of aesthetic that probably isn't their everyday life for some reason, or maybe some people think that their everyday life is too boring, which I don't see how that can be. Even if you're somebody that never goes out to the club, baby, you read a couple of books, you do like a little cocktail every now and then, and you just on your fitness journey. Well, baby, that's content. Show us when you go to the gym. Share a couple of them little journal prompts, and then show us, when you go out and do tequila tastings. Like what you do already qualifies the content. There's nothing that you have to go out and kind of curate. We just have to get bold about making sure that if we go somewhere or do something, that we're bold and intentional enough to actually record it and document it. So that may mean when you go to the gym, you do start filming yourself, or when you do actually get intentional and say, you know what, I'm gonna start sharing it. Because I shared this on my Facebook. I think it was like last week when I talked about this idea of being a business owner when you are, a creator too, or you're building a personal brand. The only thing it is just living out loud. You start living out loud. And it don't even be your real whole life, but the way that you present it to people feel like they know you. They feel like they know your whole life, child. But that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to create that parasocial relationship with your audience that is going to build such immense trust that you can sell them anything. Alexandria says, period. Okay, baby. And do be feeling like they know your whole life, child. I be like, child, baby, this is my strategy. Alexandria, I be like, girl, this is a little strategy, baby. This ain't my whole life. But okay. But hey, that is what it is. But as business owners, we understand that. But that's just the game. That's how it is. That's how you connect with your audience. That's how you build trust. And this is how you start promoting every day without the guilt and without feeling like you have no other depth or fun to your content. Like for real. She said, yes, ma'am, strategy. Okay. Baby, this is a curated reality show. For real. Okay. But that's all it is. Your social media, and this is the blessing and the curse of it, right? Because as a business owner, I love it because I can perfectly curate a narrative, a story, a product or service or whatever. Like I can curate it so perfectly. And I know that it will appear real, or I know how it will show up to the viewer. It's really scary. But it's also really brilliant. It's really brilliant. Like you can curate this how you want to. You don't have to share the depths of your soul and life and vulnerability just to be able to have an online brand. And even though I'm somebody who talks transparency and authenticity and stuff like that, there is, I share 10%, literally, right? So you can still determine the boundary. And a way that I walk women through that, even once you come inside, and some of the frameworks and stuff that I have when you work with me one on one, is your boundary list. Okay. So as you explore having a personal brand, as you explore showing up online, as you explore leading people, what are three things that you're willing to talk about? And then what are some of the things that you're never willing to talk about? Respect those boundaries of yourself. Maybe you really don't care talking about your finances, but motherhood and your marriage, that's off limits. Baby, you got that right. Okay. Or maybe your relationship, you're really open about that. But your money, your fitness journey, your family, like that's off limits. Like whatever truly works for you is good enough. You know what I'm saying? Joquisha says, yep, I celebrate with a margarita, baby. Okay. When my client passes their exam. Well, there you go, girl. You start making that a part of your brand. So when we know you got a margarita, we know that that means somebody passed their exam, and we know that that's a part of the story and the experience. But you have to do it so much, and you have to do it so many times where ain't nobody looking for us to even notice. You probably got to do stuff like 60 times with nobody watching for people to be like, oh yeah, you do that. You be like, man, where you been at? Alexandria says, yes, I talk about the importance of boundaries and determining what's public and private. Absolutely. I think that this may be a common misconception, even when we see other creators or business owners and personal brands where it seems like they're so open. Some people are, but some people are not. You can determine what you want to keep private and safe. I think that's sacred and I think that's smart. I actually don't believe in you coming on here and just be like, well, Deb said authenticity, baby. So I'm finna give it to you. Back in 19, like, girl, like, we don't have to have, like, if that's you, if God calls you to do that, cool. But with me, girl, it's gonna be a hard no for me. Girl, bye. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. It's gonna be a hard no for me. And here's the thing, I share what's needed for the desired result. Period. So I know what my audience is going through. So I'm fine with vulnerability around my journey of entrepreneurship, quitting my job, going back to work, doing gig work to make money, getting customers, doing content, getting on live. Nobody's watching, everybody misunderstands you. Like, I'm cool with talking about that. But other stuff, no, ma'am. Respectfully or disrespectfully. I don't care. Give it down. Right? So it's up to you. It's up to you. And this is why I still, like I say this every day on the show, I love the mission of Conquer so much because I think that honestly, if more women were just bold enough to try, they would get the clarity. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that, like, as a coach, I give really great ideas and people almost instantly get engagement and customers and stuff like that. But I really admire somebody who's like, hey, now I didn't have it all together, but I tried this and this is what I got. Now, please help me. Like, I rock with that because there is nothing like getting clarity because you did the work. Somebody can only tell you something so much from the mountaintop or standing beside you. But once you start making mistakes and getting out there, you be like, oh, so that's how that work. And people, and I'm all for leadership, getting a blueprint, minimizing mistakes and stuff like that. But like I tell most women, you're gonna have to get you a really good plan together, and you're gonna have to try, and you're actually gonna have to stick to it this time. Because please don't tell me that that's the issue, that you have a really good plan and a really good idea. The only issue is you don't stick to it. Like, that's truly mind blowing. Talk about self sabotage. Okay. She says, yep, I thought about having 3 part-time jobs in a business. Woo, child. Good. That sounds like a Risa Tisa story time to me, baby. 3 part-time jobs is wild and crazy. But I mean, but the amazing thing about each of us sharing our stories is all of it is relatable. Even if, I don't know, I ain't never tried cocaine. Even if I watched a crackhead give a testimony about being strung out in the alley and doing all this stuff, but glory be to God, they made it. Like, that is compelling to me because I'm another human having a human experience, and I can relate to challenge and wanting to be uplifted and overcoming and conquering. Like, I can relate to that for real. Alexandria says clarity comes from action. Baby, that's a bar. For real. It does. Every time. Every time. This is good. Andrea says, I think culturally we have been taught to look like we have it all together. So as entrepreneurs, we have to unlearn certain things to ensure that we're able to identically share our celebrations and even sometimes our shortcomings, and know that it's okay. Because at the end of the day, success is always there. Sorry, I'm late to my response. It's okay, girl. I'll be happy to talk to you later today too, Andrea. But that's true. And I think that that is a very real and invisible pressure when we talk about this idea of looking like we have it all together. Because I think the reality is, for a lot of us, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, even my audience, my girls, if I'm talking about my struggles, they be like, oh, damn, that's so relatable. But when I turn up and look like I have it all together, they be like, yes, ma'am. How can I work with you? How can I do this? I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to come to conquer. Like, to be honest, if you're a business owner, personal brand, like, bro, that's what they like. I'm being so honest. So honest. Nails done, hair done, baby. Want to see you lay, want to see your man winding and dine, baby. Want to see that you get a chance to hop up and go on vacation with, like, man, this is tough. But it's you putting out what they want. It is a very weird and twisted thing, but it just is what it is. Now, here's the thing. I can't sleep at night when people think that I got it going on like that. Cause baby, you're gonna meet me and be like, oh, okay, like, so I do believe in having integrity around it. Like, I know you saw me doing that, but let me tell you the reality of it. But I mean, we can't deny that it worked. We can't deny that it worked. I would make more money if I came online and looked like my life was more put together than it is. I know for a fact I would. I know for a fact I would. I know for a fact. You ain't saying not one lie. If I came online and never shared like how I struggled, how I had to go, like, I swear to God, I would make. I know for a fact I would. I know for a fact I would. Because that is what, when it comes to growing business and stuff, I think what we're all chasing is, I want to say chasing, what we're all after to experience is this idea of freedom, flexibility, clarity, love, partnership, travel, and all of these things. And I guess I'm a little different in my mindset in that, because I don't think that there's any, I know for a fact, and ain't no couple I look at and say couple goals, but I don't think that there's anything that I've seen and be like, oh man, that's my dream life. I feel like my dream life is now. You know what I'm saying? I love the journey. I love the process. I love waking up and doing this for a living. Like, I love the fact that after 30, I didn't have to go to work. I love the fact that I'm in my pre-kid era. I love the fact that I can wake up like no alarm clock, like trying, like get on live, like doing the hustle, like nobody watching, somebody watching. Like, I'm in love with the process of it. Like, that's my dream life already. But I feel like if you aren't in that season of being in alignment and in love with who you are, your dream life looks like content people put out. And I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, and I'm not mad at it. I have friends that do it, baby. I ain't mad at it. I get it. It's what is really what people respond to. So I get it. Andrea said, that's what social media teaches us to post for positive reaction. So that's why when we post things that look good, it makes us feel good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what it's for. You're right. That's what it's for sure. This is why most of the women that I work with are passion-based women who actually love their businesses and stuff. Because, and it's a blessing and a curse, they so emotionally wrapped up in the business, child. Sometimes they can barely move their feet, but because they actually care. So I often get a chance to work with women who have a lot of integrity, which is a requirement in our community. When you come into the Conquer Club and stuff, I will drill you about what you got going on. And if I feel like you scamming folks, with I talked to somebody the other day and I was like, I don't support this BS. Like, you can't even pay me, even if you wanted to, right? I just don't rock with it. Just not me personally though. But you can make you a bag though. You can make you a bag. I'm telling y'all, I literally had somebody, and she has a fantastic following, fantastic audience, very well known. She literally asked me, she was like, "Are you actually like coaching girls?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Why?" I was like, she was like, just get online, like share how you got it going on, and just let them buy little stuff from you. Like, why are you like, she was basically like, why are you actually trying to like teach and help when you cute? You got the little step. She was like, you don't have to do all that. And I was like, girl, woo child. But I ain't mad at it. 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 I ain't mad at it at all, child. They obviously know something I don't know. I be scared God gonna make an example out of me. I should have got me a PPP loan or something. Why I think I'm gonna be the first person to go to the feds? Child, I don't be able to sleep at night for real. She said, leave us alone with our paralysis analysis. Girl, don't get me started, girl, because I get the preaching on this live friend about their paralysis analysis, girl, because I think it come from a couple of things. And I've experienced it, but I conquered this a long time ago, and I've continued to conquer it. Is I think when you have paralysis analysis or this, oh, well, I just want it to be so perfect, it is 100% fear every single time. Every single time. And I feel like from what I've seen, and I've literally worked with hundreds of women one-on-one and literally led thousands, most of the times it's this fear of failing in front of everybody. This fear of failing in front of everybody. Well, Deb, what if I do it and don't nobody, you know? And we talk about this on the show, and Andrea, I know we're tripping right now, but I want to make sure that we all understand that, yes, friend, the village will only support you once you're popular. Okay? Get over it. We will only support you once you're popular. This is not the industry to come and want a participation trophy. Okay? Just because you started, you brilliant, you talented, you got your website, you got your little handful of clients, baby, welcome to the race. Okay? It's time to actually work for real. Like, that just got you in the building. You don't get a participation trophy for that. Okay? So we will only support you once you get popular. So you know what you better start doing? Getting popular. So that means go on and start working when ain't nobody watching. Go on and start practicing what you're going to do. Go and start posting your reels with your little 2 views, because we waiting on you to get popular in order to support you. The village does not clap for you and give you a participation trophy just because you came into the game. For real. Okay? There are no participation trophies over here. Because if you got a participation trophy for doing that, baby, I wouldn't be brilliant. You gotta be brilliant to be over here, girl. Okay? For real, for real. So the village will clap once you clap for yourself the loudest. The village will clap once you're doing something outstanding that's shaking up everything. That's when the village will clap. The village does not clap for you year one of business. I'm sorry. Go find you a therapist and go find you a community, because the village does not validate you once you're in the very beginning. Get over it. You will be okay. The village will validate you once you start doing your thing for real. Once we've seen you, like, girl, I've been seeing you do your thing. Like, that's when the village will validate you. So you good. Like, welcome to the race. You're at the very, 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 very beginning. Rashana says, shout out to Rashana in the Conquer Club, baby. Because the girls be doing a big one. Rashana says, I'm not a fan of being fake. Oh gosh. Now y'all know Rashana keep it 100. I cut a girl off saying I was in a hustle culture, but you're running around here faking and using food stamps, but telling people you make X number at home. Child, please get the boop on. Whoop, girl. You know, I try not to be messy, even though I do be messy on my show all the time. For real. But I mean, it happens. You know, it happens. I think that just like in the industry or any space, you'll have people who lean one way towards something that's not integral, you know. Child, I feel you good. I feel you. But I think the most important thing is for us to make sure that what we're doing is full of integrity, which is why we don't have to wait on being perfect, right? We can just embrace who we naturally are and where we honestly are on our journey. So if we're honestly starting out, it's okay. If we do still have to work another job or a part-time job at the corner store or work down there at the back, like that just is what it is, right? It just is what it is. We don't have to make it seem like, and I get this because we don't have to make it seem like we're further along than we are, y'all. We don't have to. We don't have to. Okay. I want to get into this ICE method again because I got a call at the top of the hour. Shout out to the girls who are booking their calls to come into our community, specifically to come into the Conquer Club. Shout out to the girls that are trying to come to Conquering Cocktails in Dallas. I'm so here for it. We'll be doing a seminar here in Dallas on July 24th. We'll have Conquering Cocktails July 26th. I got a podcast taping here in Dallas on July 11th. I got another podcast tapping here on July 16th. And I just got asked to do an event next January. So, girl, we are outside. We are moving and grooving. We got our 2 corporate partnerships this year. And, baby, I'm outside this July. So I want to make sure that I recover this ICE method really quickly, especially for people that are just joining. I'm going to do a couple of the comments first. Okay. And then I'm going to go into this ICE method because this is the best way to explode trust with your audience. And when I teach you this ICE method, I want you to literally go to my personal Facebook page and I want you to see it in action. I want you to go through each of my posts and see how I'm implementing this exact same thing that I'm about to teach you. Okay. I ain't get into the comments, baby, because y'all talking the talk. Let's see. Reese says, I went back to work full time. I love it, girl, while still running my business. And I'm going to use this transition as a way to tap into YouTube because I feel like girls don't talk about it enough. Yeah. Why the shame around a job? What do you think? Why do you think that there is, not for you, Ritzy, because I love the fact that you're willing to be open and talking about it. But do y'all think that there is kind of like a shame around having a 9 to 5 or having a job? Or do y'all think that like what is that? Like, why is that a thing? Is there like shame? Is this like a cultural thing? Is this a new thing? Where we're like, oh, 9 to 5. Like, how dare you make 70K with a 401k and health insurance? Which I get the goal of flexibility, freedom, and all that stuff. Like, I'm here for it. I live it. So I get it, right? But when I had my job, and if you've been following me for some time, bro, I used to post at work all the time. I used to post my coworkers. I used to post me in my office looking cute. Like, baby, I was like, I'm here for this paycheck. But the reason why I loved it more is because during that time, I was showing me working, like me building. I would show, yes, I've been at work today, but look at the timestamp. It's 2 a.m. and I'm building something. Like, I thought it was cool. I feel you, Rashana. Reese says shame and embarrassment, honestly, but I don't have shame because I got a son too. Oh, I know that's right. And I also know who I am. I think this is the biggest thing right here. I think this is the biggest thing, which is why I love Conquer. I love our mission because I feel like at the end of the day, a big portion about this is loving, honoring, and accepting who we are without comparison, without shame, without feeling like, oh, I gotta have lip fillers and big titties and an aesthetic to have a personal brand. Like, girl, if people knew how little I spent on social media, they'd truly be mind blown. Like, I just use it for what it is to fuel my dream life. It don't even have to be all that. Rashana says people want to glorify entrepreneurship like you got it all. Let's be for real. Life be life and like stop the crap. Ain't nothing wrong with a job if that's what's taking care of your family. Yeah. And I'm here for both. I'm here for a season of, can we say we're here for a season of 401k and health insurance? Like, I'm over 30. Yeah, like girl, having health insurance, yeah, that worth 3 businesses right there. I mean, like, but I can't discount the difference, right? Because I've been on both sides. So it's June. Last November, I went back to work. I tried to go back to work, right? I lasted 10 days. I'm not gonna lie. Those 10 days put a fire in me like I've never felt before because I was blown away at how differently I was every day. Like I woke up, do my little routine, went to work, performed well at work. By the time I got off work, I felt it took me probably 2 hours to mentally and emotionally calm down from the day to where I could even think about conquering. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And so I was like, oh, this is why you were going so hard after it the first time. Because it was a big difference. And then when they fired me, I was like, okay, thank God. You know what I'm saying? Now I can go back to getting my stuff together. And it changed everything for me. It changed my perspective. It changed my work ethic. It changed everything about my business. I went in the lab for 30 days, came out hot in January, and did everything I did last year and then some in just Q1. I was like, okay, which is why our failures always, 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 always serve us more than we give them purpose for. Like for real. Okay, let's go to the comments. Let's go to the comments. Andrea says, sadly, there is shame sometimes around having a 9 to 5, especially in certain circles. It feels like a newer social media driven mindset where entrepreneurship is glamorized and everything else is seen as less than. But that's not fair or realistic. Wow, this is a really good comment. And I want to know what y'all think about this as we kind of transition. I'm gonna go back into the ICE method. I think that this is a very real conversation to talk about. And I do think that entrepreneurship is glamorized. And I do think that in some circles, this can definitely be seen as less than. But I do think that this is why I think it depends on your everyday world. Your everyday world, okay? I truly think it depends on your everyday world, okay? In my world or social circle and peers, a lot of us don't have jobs. Like we just don't. Like I was talking to a friend yesterday and she was like, "Yeah, let's meet Monday afternoon." Like the idea of even me going back to work last year, they were like, my friend was like, "Why would you do that? Like you're dead. Like like make a post on Facebook. Like what are you talking about?" Like, so I get it, but as I have a new set of peers, like that's not a thing. It's not a thing to be like, oh, we can't do it Thursday morning because one of us got to go to work. Like that's not really a thing. So I do agree with what you're saying, but I think also as you go on in your journey and you start to do new things, it's just like with a restaurant, right? Once you start, you go to Ruth Chris on a regular, people gonna be like, "Whoa, child, this fancy." You're gonna be like, "Girl, we come here every Tuesday and Wednesday for happy hour." Like it just depends on like kind of the current state of where you are in your life and your season and stuff. And I didn't even think about it, but she was like, "Yeah," she was like, "We should go to lunch somewhere Monday afternoon." And I was like, "That sounds amazing. I'll call you after the show." Because we don't even I didn't even assume that she had a job because she was a new friend. Like I don't assume that like women I meet like have jobs and stuff. But I guess it just depends. But I get it. I truly get it. I truly get it. I get it, girl. I do. I've been on multiple parts of it, girl. So I get it. Reese says, I was in survival mode and I read that you can't pivot while in survival mode. So this is my way to ease the stress. I love that for you. Such a smart decision. Seeing my 401k grow has been such a sigh of relief for real. Yeah, I'm here for that, baby. Listen, listen, a 401k sound like a steak dinner to me. Because, baby, the 401k I got is 401 reactions. For real. Jaquisha says, yes, it is a shame around it. I had 3 part-time jobs, substitute teaching, tutoring, and grocery store. Woo, child, baby, you working in the grocery store remind me of that scene in Straw. Cause why you do her like that? And why y'all didn't jump his ass? Like, what is going on in the grocery store? Friend, is everything okay? And then the boss, like, sir, this is Save a Lot. Be for real. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, friend, we pray you ain't dealing with all that, child. Cause baby, Tyler Perry took us to the moon. I was like, baby, this is Save a Lot. Why y'all robbing the Save a Lot, throwing bottles at the cashier, like we in the jungle? Okay. But she says, I had 3 part-time jobs, substitute teaching, tutoring, and grocery store, as well as my tutoring business, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But my dad had a job for 30 years and mama was a business owner. I love to hear stories of women who were raised by other women that were business owners. I'm so excited about that. To be a mom one day. I'm 34, right? I quit my job at 30. Like, I'm so excited about being a mom one day. And this is the version of me that she's born into. Oh, oh, oh. I'm so here for that. It makes my heart flutter, which is exactly what I wanted for myself as a woman, like for real. So I'm so here for that. Andrea says also it could be cultural in some ways, especially in communities that have fought hard for financial independence or freedom. A 9 to 5 can sometimes feel like being stuck or playing small, but the truth is stability is not shameful. That's a bar, and neither is structure. Not everyone wants to be a business owner, and that doesn't make them any less ambitious or successful. I agree with that 1000%. Because some of our people I know in corporate, I mean, I had an amazing career and I loved entrepreneurship for a long time. Like, I grew up watching my mama be the candy lady, baby. You know what I'm saying? I was hustling $2. No, they want $2, child. 2-cent fruities in a bag after school with a freeze cup. Okay. So you're right. And I enjoyed my corporate career. I loved my jobs. I loved my mentors. I love shoot. When we bought a house, I was working like I'm here for it. And I think that there is a lot of happiness and ambition and success in people who want to do other stuff. You know, I'm here for it. Rashonda says, if I didn't have children, I probably would still be at a job. But in nursing, they barely want to work with your schedule, child. Oh, Lord. I ain't got time for that. I'm going to choose my kids over a job. I got to raise them, and a job will replace me the second I'm a problem. Yeah, girl. Yeah, and I think that as a business owner, I love these conversations because I feel like we really, really understand both sides. Because if I'm a business owner, I have to really be happy about the fact that not everybody wants to be a business owner because I need a team. But I also honor how amazing business is. And sometimes I find myself like driving down the street, I'm just looking, whether it's a small print shop, a McDonald's, a big corporation, or a little small chicken hut. I'm like, dang, like all of these were visionaries and pioneers who are creating opportunities for society. And I have major respect for it for sure. Reese says, as crazy as it sounds, it was a no brainer for me, but I can agree that your circle matters. A good mix of corporate girls and entrepreneurs. All of them were so supportive. Yeah, I think that's awesome. And I think that The reason why I share my experience, even with me going back to work and doing gig work, is because entrepreneurship will truly humble the hell out of you. Baby, do you do like is this microphone on this morning? It will humble you. Baby, I'm talking about 1 week you got it going on. They might as well drop a lottery ticket in my invoice system. But baby, them next 3 weeks will humble you. Okay. It'll have you on. Let me just go on Indeed and just kind of see what's out there. Cause I'm gonna apply for 80 of these jobs because this is not for me. Okay. Entrepreneurship will humble you, baby. Which is why I love it so much. But it's also why I honor it for what it is, and I honor what it takes to get there. I honor sometimes that it takes for you to do something else for some extra money, for you to go back. Like I honor all of that because I feel like it's part of the process. And then I also think that if you have something that's for you, two parts, you got to work really hard at it. And for two, it's probably the way to that destination is just not going to look how we think it's supposed to look because we just don't know. We just don't know. Reese says, what this really taught me though, don't burn no bridges and never say what you won't do. That's a bar. That's a bar. Don't burn no bridges for real, baby. Because, baby, when it was time for me, I was like, well, let me look at some of my HR contacts and see what's going on in the marketplace. Okay. And you're right. Don't say what you won't do. That's real. She said, humbly is not talked about, baby, for real. Well, humble you to pieces. She said it's this book called Buy Back Your Time. I think you all should read it. Ultimately, it's about you got to learn to talk to and work with workers because those will help your vision, not so much other bosses. That's true. Absolutely. I agree 1000%. I agree. She said, yeah, sure will, baby. She said, you are a vibe. Yes, baby. Is this your first time on the live with me, Alexandria? This is what I'm be talking about, baby. Okay, y'all, final thoughts here. Final thoughts, final thoughts, final thoughts. First of all, come back Monday. Second thing is over the weekend, I want you to really think about what's best for you. I think today sparked such a good conversation about the reality is you are in different seasons. Everybody's on a different journey. It's important for us, especially as women, because let's be real, as a woman, we look at what the other women in the village are doing. Like, let's just be honest, right? But I think it's so important for you to sit and think, okay, what's best for me, friend? Do I even like dancing on TikTok? I mean, do I even really want to be a coach? I mean, do I need to probably go back to work and that's gonna make everything better? Like, what's really gonna be best for you? And as you navigate your week, y'all already know it's time probably for a lot of us for our work ethic to 10x. For real. The work ethic and consistency has to 10x in this season to go where we're going. The amount of time that you spend working the business, and when I say working the business, I don't mean scrolling. Scrolling is not working the business. Working the business is face to face time with customers, doing your lives, getting in front of the people, doing the things that ain't nobody clapping for you for. That's working the business. Yesterday, I was in folks' DMs. Folks I ain't never talked to a day in my life. Like, hey, I got this thing called a Conquer Club, and based on your page, you probably will really be a really good fit. Working the business, that type of activity for somebody listening to me has to 10x if you want to win this year. It cannot be a thing where you pick your business up and you put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, 9 to 5 or not. Do not go weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks putting your baby down. That's like putting your baby down in the crib and never going back in to check on them. Baby, the thing is out of here. Okay? Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your future. Okay? Y'all know I've talked about this concept so much on my show, and this is the last thing that I'm going to leave you with. And it is this idea of making sure that I am my own best friend. How many of you have heard me talk about this before? I am my own best friend. The same way I would encourage best friend, you been to bed all week, bitch. Wake up, we going to brunch, put on some clothes, let's do something. Like, that's the energy that you got to have about you. The same way that you would say, best friend, you been talking about that salon for 2 years, girl. Why you ain't opened it yet? That's the energy you got to have about you. Okay? Be your own best friend. The way that you would probably hype me up if I called you after this live, do that for yourself. I don't need you. Your family, like, no, nobody, you need you. Okay? Get hyped, get ready. But baby, I've been on my grind, so I got some consultations to do. So y'all know the vibes, baby. Conquer something this weekend and see you Monday.
Me, the Conquer Club is a sisterhood. I didn't know a lot of these ladies. I have truly made connections, real friendships, bonds. I've cried with these ladies. It elevated my business so much, just putting a foot on the gas and stomping on necks, like literally. I'm really proud to be a part of this space, and I think this is what entrepreneurs need.